Okay, welcome to the eye candy realm of Skyrim. This post or this piece of content is strictly towards beginners. Beginners as far as installing various mods. And we're talking specifically about expansion mods, like, developments, like buildings, overhauling, like ports and stuff of that nature. And for beginners, before you install one of these expansions, you need to see what exactly is in that expansion. If it's a massive expansion, even a small one, you got to look at your PC build. And if as specifically if you're doing any sort of development with Riverwood compared to, let's say, Whiterun or another city, you want to make sure that you have at least minimum, even if you're not doing anything else to the system, build as far as your mod list, and you just want to put some expansions in there with nothing else, it still would be a problem. Just like tree replacers and massive overhauls to landscapes and stuff like that. You want to stay away from all of that, right? Those things you would add dead last, and you would check the performance of your build with something like MSI Afterburner to see how the gameplay is going to be. If you don't want to go through all that trouble and there's no way to fix it, they have all kinds of different stuff to try and help, but it's not really helping. It's really basically patching it to make it look like it's playable, but really it's not. And it's taking a heavy toll on your system. So stay away from expansion mods altogether. You can do some texture replacers, if you want to change the color of something, or like wood and anything like that. But as far as adding, structures and like whole new lands and stuff, you want to stay away from, right? So, the bare minimum would be like um, Bruma. I forget the actual name of that mod, and Falscar. I think that's the name. Worms Tooth. Those are fine. But as far as like cities of the north, for example, or whatever expansions that they have just about every expansion that's available suited for Riverwood right now. And I can tell you, they do not mesh well. There are patches out there to make stuff look better, but they don't mesh. Even just one of them, right? And I have a pretty decent setup here, you know, and it takes a toll, right? Even if I had the cream of the crop as far as the 4090 or the 3090, because the 3090 comes with 24 gigs of RAM. Um, the 7900 XTX, which is basically the cream of the crop. 3090, 4090, um, the 3090, 4090, and the 7900 XTX. Those are the cream of the crop as far as what you would want as far as adding all those expansions. Right now, a later model CPU, right now I don't have nothing more than a ninth gen, right? But I can tell you right now, no matter what you do, whether it be 1080p all the way up to 4K, um, upgrading would have to be a massive upgrade to see an improvement. So if I have a i7 ninth gen, right, not an i9, but i7, doesn't matter, i7, i9. You're not gonna see much of a difference there. I could go up to 10th gen, wouldn't see much of a difference there. If I went up to an 11th gen, the cream of the crop, 11th gen, that's the best you can get. Then now it would be suitable or worthwhile performance upgrade, and thus further. So 11th gen, um, the i9 11900, I think that's the highest you can go, and then you got the 12900. Anything I probably get away with a lower CPU in the 12th gen, other than the elite, the best you can get. But from what I have, I would have to go all the way up to 11s and 12s to see a difference in performance as far as you know, we're just talking about expansions with what I have, right? So now what you need to do is you need more VRAM. So if I have 16 gigs of RAM just for the card alone, because that's what you need to look at, I need to go up to 20, which is the XT, right? Or I need to go up to 24, which would be the 3090, 4090, and the 7900 to really, where it makes sense to spend that kind of money. But a CPU upgrade right now, I would have to change the motherboard and go up to an 11th gen sort of board or a 12th gen. You know, I don't know. I'm sure the sockets are different between 11th and the 12th, but I would have to change motherboards. Is it a worthwhile upgrade? Changing the whole motherboard? Probably. I hopefully use the same old RAM, and just to upgrade the CPU. Is it worthwhile to change the motherboard and the CPU, use the existing RAM, rather than to upgrade with the video card, which would be the cheaper route and which would give you the more performance? And to me personally, it would be the graphics card. I've seen what newer model CPUs like 11 and 12 can do, right? Given the same graphics card, right? And I say to that, before you actually change the motherboard and the CPU, is to go up to the best video card you can get. That would be the most performance you'll see as far as modding is concerned. We're not talking about anything else. We're talking about modding and adding um, a lot of mods as far as expansions to the existing game. You need VRAM, right? Of course, the CPU is going to help, but for the CPU to help in this particular case, you would need the latest board or close to the latest, which we would probably be in the 12s, where you would really see a game with the same video card and thus the same motherboard that coincides with that series, right? So this is what we got here, right? This is the cream of the crop as far as you know um, mod list, right? This is it, right? It's about as much as the system can hold and how detailed as far as all the lighting and the different texture and places you can get. And you see that thing is holding at a steady 60 frames per second indoors, right? Although there's nothing going on right now, it stays at a steady 60. Okay, you see now 1%, 2% drop as we look at the fire over here, right? But it is steady, right? So that's what you would want. If I went and upgraded a CPU, right? Which I have an i7, I went to the i9. Would it help much with where I'm tapped out at? Because this um, monitor can only do 60 hertz, so 60 is high as we get, right? Am I looking for a very high FPS? I'm looking to add additional mods, broaden the landscape of the game, right? Which do I prefer? I guess that would be your choice. Right, so we're gonna do a little bit of conversation right here between what is that? How you say that? Orgnar, and we're gonna go outside and see the hit that you get as far as this is the cream of the crop as far as expansions to a town in this game when we step outside. All right, so let's do this right here, and then we're gonna step out.
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell. Looking to blow yourself up? I hear that's what magic does to you. There's a college in Winterhold that teaches magic, unless that blew up too. Be a lot safer just to have the Jarl's wizard teach you a thing or two. Need a room? Talk to Delphine. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. There have been whispers. A boy up in Windhelm, name of Aventus Aretino, been trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood. All right then.
Okay, we're going to step outside now, and we're gonna see the performance drop. And this is the perfect area in Riverwood to see how far down that number drops. And watch the RAM, how that goes up. It is tremendous, right? And from there, we're gonna probably take a walk to Helgen. As far as the setup that we have here, we have everything and anything that has to do with Thor. Thor the movie, Thor the comic, as far as the axes, the move sets, everything is there. This is the female version of Thor from the movie. I think it's Jane Foster is the name. And then we have Sword of Omens. Everyone has ever heard of the Thundercats? That is the Sword of Omens there, right? All these mods can be found on Nexus. Not the armor. The armor has to you have to go to Patreon. I forget the guy's name Patreon's page, but anyone is interested in getting that set up, I can send them a link. I'm gonna turn off the commentary because it messes with the sound as it like kind of mutes it. So I'm gonna turn off the commentary, and we're gonna just walk outside and take a walk over to Helgen, and I'm gonna stop it right there. All right, just to take a look at how much RAM is being used and how this is cooking the GPU. Right now my GPU is running almost 170, 165, 170 degrees, which is right where it needs to be. Let's see what it does when it steps outside. CPU, look at that, 30%. It's not even touching the thing. Let's see what happens when we step outside this door. Okay, we're outside in the heart of town in Riverwood. And this is the elite as far as overhauls and the different textures. As far as the outside is concerned, anything that you're seeing here, whether it be the weather, lighting, everything is here. And you see, we have dropped from 60 FPS all the way down to 23, which is actually pretty good. We're almost at 30,000 megabytes. 30,000 as we stand here in the middle of town. The dog is not moving. It's not running. That's what's going on there. That looks crazy. Look at those numbers. And look at the CPU. We are in the heart of town. This is where you would get the hardest hit in the whole. As far as much as I've been in this game, and I haven't gone to any of the DLCs, anything. I haven't even gotten that far in this thing. But as far as the main part of the game, before you get to the DLCs and anything we'd add there, we just stay here in town, right? And look at those numbers. If you had 32 gigs of memory, you'd be right on the very jagged edge. You'd have to have even higher than that to run this thing. I say it again, we're almost at 30,000 megabytes. 30,000, they dropped down to 26 now. Now look at the GPU. It's running at 150 degrees. CPU. It's barely touching the CPU. What in the Holy Ghost would I need a CPU upgrade? How is that going to help me here? It's not even being touched. It's not even 50%. This is a heavily modded area right here. A CPU upgrade would not help. It's even if it was the 13th, it would not do anything. Even if we went up to the very cream of the crop as far as Ryzen is concerned, or we went to the 13900, wouldn't make a difference. Because look, what we're going to run at 10%? That doesn't make any sense. So the only thing to help with these expansions here is a graphics card upgrade. Now, maybe as far as a CPU motherboard combo, you know, the motherboard also plays a big role in all of this. With the later model boards, where there be some boosts there with the different and the new technologies that they have, gotta look into that stuff. But as far as just changing parts, no, it is the graphics card. So for this to, as far as heavily expansions or expansions in general, you need the best graphics card. Not really the best graphics card. You need the most available VRAM that you can get. So 16 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes, 24. You really want the 24. So a 3090 or a 3090, 7900 XT, and 4090. If you want to add all these expansions and have a nice gameplay and not scratching your head and kicking stones, don't bother with any of that stuff. You have a hard time with just changing the features on the NPCs walking around and adding those in there without having all kinds of problems. Right? So now we're just going to take a walk through town. Now I was going to take a walk over to um Helgen, but I've been talking so long, and I gotta stop um this video in a few. So we're just gonna come out of town. We're gonna walk up to the Guardian Stones. Now look at this. We're up to 30 FPS. This thing is working like a champ. I am impressed. I'm wondering if it's nighttime and how it would work in the daytime. I'll make another video as far as early in the day. Because this is kind of gloomy, which is good compared to what it may be like. Now we're looking at 35 FPS. Wow, this is impressing me. And this is my what 40 FPS as we get down here. Usually I'm still in the 20s here. I didn't change anything as far as tweaking this, except what I did was I did add um, a mod for depth of field. Marty's depth of field. It's on Nexus, and it's basically you have to go into the game directory, and you're replacing one of the EMB depth of field files, which is supposed to have some things to help you with depth of field. So I don't know if that's what's giving me such good numbers, because I just came into the game a little while ago, and I wasn't getting these numbers. So I don't know if this is something that has to like run for a little bit before it starts working, and it is. And now we're up to 40 FPS. This is looking very nice, especially with the dim light. Wow, look at the, is that the moonlight? No, that's just like evening time. Look at that. This looks amazing. Wow, 40 FPS. There's a huge amount of expansions all along this area right here. And I wasn't getting these numbers. So we got a little glitch, a little freeze right there. But still, look at this. Holy moly. This looks nice. Wow. This is the best dev I've ever seen this thing look. This looks crazy. Man, I think I'm going to make this into my thumbnail right here. Look at this. Mm-mm-mm. So, all right, we're going to take a walk, and we look at it. Look at the numbers. We're at 50%, not even 50%, 40%, under 50% on the CPU, GPU. It is under 160 degrees. Look at that. And we're at like almost 25,000 megabytes of RAM. 50 FPS now. Who's this white horse? Who are these people here? They're standing blocking up the road, man. Oh no, there's someone on the horse. Why is this standing there? Man, I ain't got no time for that. 50 FPS. 60. At 60 FPS here. This is the best that this thing can do right in this area right here. Holy moly. Alright, low. We dropped down to 28. Alright, so I'm going to leave this right here. I might use this as well as far as taking a screenshot of this. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope anyone that can use this as far as, a buyer's guide and what upgrades they may want to use, to get better performance as far as modding is concerned. I hope this helped. And all right, that's it.